I'm not here for a long preach, just literally 3 or 4 minutes here, just to sort of round all this up and bring some, I suppose, Bible context to some of what we've heard, beginning with the story that the kids read to us nearly an hour ago now. That great story of the prodigal son. And just in a couple of minutes, let me just paint a couple of pictures and help us all before Tracy comes and just leads us in prayer before we worship to sort of close our morning. Because what hit me was there's one line in this story of the prodigal son that's repeated. And it's been emphasized by Leah in the doodle, by these guys as they read this story. First of all, he says to the servants when he's preparing the banquet on the return of the son, "This son of mine was dead and is alive again, was lost and is found." Then he says it to the older son a little bit later on when he comes in, griping about what's going on and why all the party and celebration. He explains the reason for the partying. He says exactly the same thing. This son of mine was dead and is alive again, was lost and is found. Belonging in any context has a great sense of purpose and security and warmth. I was traveling the other day and I just noticed, at first time, believe it or not, I'd noticed it that, I don't know about you, but if I set my sat-nav and I get to the destination that I've set in there, my sat-nav automatically then brings to the top home as the next one. My home postcode and address round the corner from here. It understands home. It knows where I want to get back to. That great sense of belonging. And I want to say to these guys, although they've been together a little while now, that I love. I'm that sort of a guy. Many of you know me well. Next week we celebrate 35 years married. And I want to say this honestly and genuinely after all these years, and we've been together about 42 years, is that I work from home, I have an office at home. Whenever I hear Jane's key in the door, my heart skips. I mean that genuinely. Sorry, babe, embarrassing you here. It does. The woman that I love is now home. And we together again, that sense of belonging and togetherness. A guy called Richard Rohr, who's a great writer, if you've never come across him, a sort of Catholic priest writer, he says this: our soul has a homing device, calling us first to God, then to one another, and then to those around. Despite everything that's going on, and part of what we are witnessing this morning in the separation of the seats and all that sort of thing, when it comes to closeness to God, there's no social distance. There's no regulation process. And this father, man, I don't know what you make of him, but it seems to me as though he's blind and deaf to everything but restoration and love for his son. Many parents here, you know what that feels like. When things have gone awry, when a little bit of a word has been exchanged, when all them things have gone that are part of life and relationship and family. It's my boy, it's my girl, it's my kids. All I want is them back in the home, belonging, being part of it, the love to be not recaptured because it's never gone. And so today, on a momentous day that we'll probably talk about at least for a while, you may have questions, concerns, doubts about life, about things that happen, about some of the that surrounds us, about the last 18 months and some of the disasters that have gone on. But I want to invite you out of this story, out of what we've just witnessed, to draw close to the one, that's Christ, who can restore, who can sustain, who can pour his love. Why is this such a great story illustrating God's love for us? Because God is like that. He's blind and deaf to the stuff that goes on. Yeah, I need to turn around and ask forgiveness and all that sort of thing. But the minute that I do, like this Sunday, he's there welcoming, ready, saying, okay, that's sorted. You've asked you for forgiveness. I've forgiven you. Now here we are again. Let's celebrate. Because it's been like you've been dead and alive. It's been like you're lost and is found. So I invite you, wherever you are, as Tracy comes up in a second, to lead us in prayer for a few moments. Get close to God. Whatever friends, family, relationships are part of the heartbeat and rhythm of your life, and I hope they are precious. And I hope with what you've just witnessed, they've just drawn something home to you, and they are part of the scaffolding that hold life together. But in all of that, go to the source of it all, Christ himself.